Hi y'all, it's Mariah and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be short and sweet with this intro since I have about 500 new subscribers that I didn't have last week. If you've subscribed for movie analysis content, don't worry, a new video on the subject will be coming out later this week. Make your guesses about what early 2000s classic it will be in the comments below. Consider this a bonus video. I love making planner and style content and I'm going to keep doing that in addition to the video essays on classic movies. If you have any suggestions for movies I should analyze next, leave them in the comments below. For now, enjoy the next few minutes of planner content. For my March bullet journal setup, I decided to go with the couture theme. I'm a big fan of couture fashion and design, and so I decided to use the color yellow as my accent color and design some fashion. I basically designed this dress from my imagination with the inspiration of a couple of sketches and drew it out with a bunch of pens and markers and fineliners. Also, if you're an old subscriber and you don't know what all this video essay commentary is about, a couple months ago I made a video essay on Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, and a couple weeks ago the algorithm picked it up. I'm as shocked about it as you are, and I got like 600 subscribers in a couple of days. It's really surprising to me and I'm really excited about it. I also recently did an essay about Ice Princess and all the life lessons I learned from it. I'll link those two in the cards above. If you're a new subscriber who's stuck around this long, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. On this channel, I do style analysis as well as my own style videos and planner videos. I'm doing this content in addition to the video essays, which will now become the main focus of my channel. For this theme, I imagined a couture dress with a bustier style top and a skirt made of flowers. I used a bunch of markers and pens for the skirt, drew in a bunch of flowers, and outlined them with my Stabilo 0.88 fineliner. I used 4 Crayola Supertips, 2 COPIC markers, a Uni-ball Signo gel pen, a gold paint pen, and I think that's it. I recently went on a craft supply binge at Michael's and bought $110 worth of craft supplies. It was a problem. And while I was there, I indulged in some COPIC markers because I had heard other bullet journalers say they were great. I bought them, and guess what? I don't like them! They don't work for my journal. They bleed through paper like crazy because they're alcohol-based, and I should have thought that through, but I didn't. And so they ate through the page. I anticipated that might be a problem, but my hubris got in the way. For this sketch, I put a piece of scratch paper in between the pages so it wouldn't bleed as much, and I had already planned to cover up the other side with some glitter paper. I've never really done a yellow or gold theme in my bullet journal before, mainly because yellow has such a hard time showing up on paper, but I've been really inspired by Plant-Based Bride's, also known as Elizabeth Turn's, bullet journal, and all the gold that she used for the year 2020. It was so beautiful, and I wanted to use it in my own journal. So, on my Michael's binge, I bought a bunch of yellow markers, and gold paint pens, and Uni-ball Signo pens in metallic, and so be prepared for a lot more gold in my journal. This drawing took me about an hour, and it looks complicated, but it really isn't. I drew those little first grade flowers with the 5 petals around a little dot in the center and called it a day. I just filled it in so it filled up the space of the gown skirt that I had wanted already and drew the bustier on top. My bullet journal philosophy is that you don't have to be a really good artist to make your bullet journal pretty. I am a terrible artist. I know that this video might fool you because I've succeeded at tricking people for a long time, but no, I cannot draw things from scratch. Mostly I need a reference photo to do anything. If you want to know how bad of an artist I am, just ask my sisters. I have an older sister and a younger sister, and both of them are incredible artists in many ways, and both of them make fun of me for being a terrible artist. Let me just take a moment to hype up my sisters because no matter how much I speed up this video, there's still talking time for me to do. If you love original music and angry vibes, you'll love my older sister Avery on her YouTube channel Too Late Kate Official, and if you love handmade jewelry and art, you'll love my little sister's work at riley.callison on Instagram. All of us are very amazing, and you should be honored to be blessed with some of our work. Anyway, back to me being a terrible artist. Most of the time, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. So when it's time to draw, I a lot of times end up tracing things, or my telltale method is filling up space. When you doodle, it's great to fill up space and to not leave a lot of gaps, and to crowd the doodles together so the eye dances around and doesn't know where to go. It's a lot of visual trickery. Plus, you'll be surprised what good a fineliner can do. If you outline little blobs in fineliner, you can make them look like flowers instead of blobs of color, and that's basically what I did here. Anyway, since I'm super happy with how this turned out, we're going to have an instant replay. 1, 2, 3, go. The title of the month needed to go somewhere, and my cat needed to go somewhere, and obviously that was sitting on my desk instead of being in the way of my journal. So I drew March on the page across from it in a yellow super tip and outlined it with my Stabilo 0.8 fineliner. Also, if you're interested in the supplies I used, I'll write them in the description, probably. We'll see what I do. I can't be trusted, I'm a loose cannon. But anyway, they'll be in the description, probably. We'll see. But I wrote March on the other side of the page and outlined it, and that was it for this cover page. As you can see, the COPICs left an insane amount of bleed through on this other side of the page, so I taped in a sheet of glitter construction paper to cover up the bleed through. I tried to cut another strip of construction paper for the header and write it in Sharpie, but guess what? Sharpie doesn't write on glitter paper, so I had to scratch that, and the day after, when I worked on this again, I ripped it out. During my Michael's Craft supply binge, I bought a bunch of label stickers, and I used that for the header instead. For the rest of this page, I did my vertical calendar with the days from 1 to 31 and labeled them with the days of the week. I highlighted the Sundays of the month in my gold Crayola Supertip, and then I had to solve the problem of how to put a quote on this page when you can't write on glitter paper. Eventually, after much trial and error, I discovered that you can pretty much glue things onto glitter paper, so I wrote out a quote on a sheet of computer paper in my gold paint pen. It says, "Life isn't perfect, but your outfit can be," which I thought was cute and cheeky with this month's theme. I cut out each word individually and glued it in on the glitter side of the page. This was difficult as they didn't really want to stick, and I ended up wiping off a good deal of the paint pen in the process, but I think it worked out for the best. Our next page is my mood tracker, which I use to track my mood fluctuation throughout the day. A lot of bullet journalers do this thing where they assign a color to each mood for the month, and they do one color per day, but because I have a mood disorder and a personality disorder, it doesn't really work for me. It's better for me to track my fluctuations throughout the day and assign a color to each mood that stays consistent throughout my life. In the end, my mood tracker will look somewhat like this, and I write little notes about my mood on the other pages. I'm gonna breeze through my weekly setups because I think that they're kind of boring, so I'll just describe what happens here. For each page, I did a long column of notes that I used my gold label stickers for, and then I split the rest of it into columns for the 7 days of the week. For the side on which the notes are, I split it into 3 boxes of 13, and on the side that is just one solid page, I split it into 4 boxes of 10 high. I alternated the side on which the notes tab went for a little bit of spicy visual interest as I'm flipping through, and labeled the days of the week with my gold Uni-ball Signo gel pen. I did this about 4 more times because there are 4 full weeks in this month, and for the final week in March, which turns into April, I did the first 3 days of the week and did a drawing on the other side. It's one of the most beautiful drawings I've ever done, so be prepared to be wowed out of your seats! This drawing is based off of a couture shoe by Dolce & Gabbana that costs about $6,000, so small change. and I based it off of that because I loved the cage idea with the flowers inside the cage. Remember how I told you that I'm not that good of an artist and I have to do a lot of tracing? Well, I traced the basic shape of the shoe. I enlarged it on my computer screen, taped a sheet of paper to the screen, and drew over it with pencil. Then I shaded the other side of the sheet with pencil and used my ballpoint pen to press the impression of the pencil line onto my bullet journal sheet. From there, it was just a lot of creative coloring. I used my Crayola Supertips and my Tombow Dual brush pen to draw some yellow blobs and drew those in where the cage would be, and used my gold paint pen from Michaels to draw in the body of the shoe. I outlined that in my Stabilo fineliner and outlined the flowers in my Stabilo fineliner for a more dimensional look. This drawing took about 34 minutes as opposed to the dress cover page, which took about an hour and 17 minutes, but I love how both of them turned out. At the bottom of the page, I wrote the quote, "Girl, you got style," which is technically from Gwen Stefani, but really I would be reluctant to attribute this one quote to Gwen Stefani for all time, when I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said, "Girl, you got style." To finish off this page, I highlighted the word style in my gold Crayola Supertip, and I did a double outline of the page in my black Crayola Supertip and my Michaels paint pen. And that's it for my March setup. If you stuck around this long, just know that I adore you and treasure you, and I'm going to make a very incredible video essay for you next week, or Friday, depending on when I get around to it. So, what do you think of my couture theme? Do you think it worked? Do you love it as much as I do? Because I don't think I've ever loved a monthly setup this much. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm really happy to be using it for this month. If you want more bullet journal videos like this, please let me know in the comments. If you don't ever want to see a bullet journal video like this ever again, please let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to ignore you, but I'd appreciate your input. I plan on doing a lot more video essays on this channel now that I know that people like them so much. But you know who likes bullet journal content a lot? Me. So I'm going to keep making it. I'm so excited for every single subscriber I've gotten, and I cannot believe that you would watch anything that I have to say. If you have any more input on what you'd like to see on this channel, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a like and maybe a subscribe and maybe a comment down below, because I keep asking you to do that because engagement is really important to me. I'm really excited to be making content for all of you and really excited to have you along on this journey with me. Thank you so much, thanks for watching, and bye.